It is almost Thanksgiving, friends. So today we're going to talk about gratitude. Not just the kind you feel when the turkey turns out perfectly, but the kind that sticks with you even when it doesn't turn out perfectly. Let's dive in.
Welcome to the Far More Podcast.
Hey there, friend, and welcome back to another episode of the Far More Podcast. I am your host, Liz Brock, and depending on when you're listening to this, if you're listening to it in real time, you're probably either driving to grandma's house, peeling potatoes, or even sneaking little bites of dessert when no one's looking. Wherever I find you, I am so glad you're here. Thanksgiving is, well, number one, it is my favorite holiday. And it's just one of those holidays that feels cozy. It's simple. And honestly, I think that's part of the magic. There are no gifts to wrap, no gifts for your kids to snub their noses at. There are no elaborate costumes, just food, family, football, and hopefully a little time to reflect on what we are grateful for. But let's be real. Thanksgiving isn't always picture perfect. Maybe you're juggling too many things. Maybe someone brought up politics at the table again. Or maybe life is just hard right now. And gratitude can feel sort of, I don't know, what's the word? Elusive. Yes, gratitude can feel elusive. And that's what I want to talk about today. Gratitude that goes beyond the picture perfect moments, the kind that is rooted in God's goodness, not just in whether the turkey turns out. Let's start here. Let's talk about what gratitude is. I mean, what it truly is. It isn't just saying thank you or this warm and fuzzy feeling when life is good. At its core, gratitude is recognizing that everything we have comes from God. James chapter 1, verse 17 tells us, every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights. Isn't that beautiful? The good stuff in our lives isn't random, it's intentional. But here's the kicker. Gratitude doesn't depend on our circumstances. That's happiness. Gratitude in 1 Thessalonians 5:18, Paul says, "Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." Notice he didn't say for all circumstances. We don't have to be thankful for the hard stuff, but we can be thankful in it. Gratitude isn't about ignoring the tough parts of life. It's about trusting God through them. So, why is gratitude so important? Let's talk about why this actually matters. First, it shifts our perspective. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to focus on what's wrong? Like someone can give you 1,000 compliments, and then one person will say one negative, untoward thing about you, and that's the one that stands out. But gratitude flips that. Instead of zeroing in on what's missing or zeroing in on the negative, we start seeing what's already there. We start seeing the positive. Psalm chapter 100 verse 4 says, "Enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise." Gratitude isn't just polite. It's how we approach God. It's like walking through a doorway into his presence. And here's another thing. Gratitude changes you. Studies even back this up. Grateful people are happier, healthier, and more content. But more importantly, gratitude draws us closer to God. It reminds us of his goodness even when life feels so heavy. Let's take a look at some examples of gratitude in the Bible because they are incredibly relatable. First, let's talk about the 10 lepers in Luke 17. Jesus heals them all, but how many came back to thank him? 1. Only 1 out of 10 came back to thank him from healing them from leprosy, y'all. Can you imagine? And Jesus took notice. Jesus noticed. He said, "Were not all 10 cleansed? Where are the other 9?" It's a powerful reminder that gratitude isn't just something God deserves, it's something he notices and values. Another example, King David. In Psalm 103, he writes, "Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits." David had a lot of ups and downs. He knew heartbreak, he knew failure, he knew regret, and yet he constantly brought his heart back to gratitude. And of course, we cannot forget the ultimate example, and that's Jesus. In John chapter 11, when Jesus raises Lazarus from the dead, he begins by thanking God. He said, "Father, I thank you that you have heard me." Can we not say that to him? "Father, I thank you so much that you have heard me." Jesus shows us that gratitude is foundational even when we're asking for a miracle. And these stories aren't just feel-good moments. They're reminders that gratitude can transform the way we see our circumstances and how we respond to God. So all of this sounds great in theory, right? But how do we actually live out gratitude when life is messy? So here are 3 things I'm working on. Number 1, make it a habit every day, or at least I try every day to jot down one thing that I am thankful for. They don't have to be big. Some days it's as simple as, "Thank you for this little bit of caffeine to get my day going." Or one of the kids unloading the dishwasher. Actually, that's a big one because that's one of the things I hate doing. But also a quiet moment with God. These are little things that I am thankful for. Number 2, say it out loud. There is something very powerful about speaking gratitude out loud, whether it's thanking a friend, encouraging your spouse, or just saying, "God, I see your hand in this." It changes the atmosphere. And something I was telling Jason or someone the other day is when you think it, say it. And I'm talking about the positive things. When you think something nice about somebody, tell them. When you're thinking about someone, let them know. You never know just how far that can go in that other person's life. And number 3, serve with gratitude. Gratitude naturally leads to generosity. When we recognize how much we've been given, we want to share. Maybe it's helping a neighbor or calling someone who you know is lonely or going through a tough season, or offering grace to the person who cut you off in the parking lot and stole your awesome parking space. And here's what I love about these practices. They don't depend on life being perfect. Gratitude is something we can carry with us through the good days, the messy days, the horrible days, and everything in between. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with this. Gratitude has a way of lifting our eyes. It reminds us not just of what we have, but who we have. Ephesians 3:20 says, "Now to him who is able to do immeasurably more, far more, than all we ask or imagine, according to his power that is at work within us." Friend, the beauty of gratitude is that it opens our hearts to see God's far more. More blessings, more grace, more of His goodness than we could ever dream of. So as you gather around your table today, whether it's full of family or a quiet meal with close friends, my prayer is that you will see and feel the far more God has for you, because His love is always greater than we could ever imagine. Happy Thanksgiving, and I am so grateful for you, and I will see you next time.